Welcome to week one. In this week, we will be focusing on the purpose of higher education and beginning to look at this onion, for lack of a better metaphor, peeling back the layers and looking at the complexity. So we'll start off by having everyone introduce who you are, what's your kind of focus of higher education or your area of interest. And is there a certain topic or issue that you're really passionate about or curious about, as well as what are those professional goals, basically? Why are you here? Okay. And we'll be using the collection of our backgrounds and experiences as part of the intentional curriculum. You'll also be exploring the networking and resources that are out there in higher ed. And that is, what are those professional organizations? So I provide a list to start with, but you're not limited to that list. This is just a place to begin to explore those areas and resources. Also note, as a grad student, you can often join these professional organizations either free or at a significant discount, and it looks great on your resumes. And there's fabulous conferences we'll be sharing with you in our Moodle homeroom throughout your time in the program. Next, you'll be looking at starting to develop that personal mission and value statement. This is going to be something that you'll revisit at the end of the course, but that mission and vision. So, why do you do what you do, and where do you want to go? There was more information on how to do that and more details, but that's a good start. And then we'll be engaging in a summary form of the main ideas around the question, what's the purpose of higher education? So each week you will have an overview such as this. It talks about the weekly activities. So early on, you'll watch the intro lecture, which you're doing now, so great job so far. There's going to be a short video from one of the leaders in higher education, which it's a wonderful podcast. If you that you will actually will send you off to many others, so you know how that works. But we'll hear from a leader each week from a different perspective. This week is a chat with Dr. Shauna Patterson Stevens from Student Affairs Now, and again, they're pretty short, but they give us a nice insight. A little background and information for folks that are new on creating mission and vision statements. The introduction forum is always, and again, all forums are due Thursday at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, with responses due the following Sunday. And all assignments, so professional organization and your statements, are always due the Sunday at 11. So each course will have an area where resources that week you'll be using are listed, as well as the activities, things that you actually have to do. And the list of professional organizations I mentioned, there's also a list I put here for you, as well as the list under our course essentials. This week we have the introduction pre-assessment. This gives me a sense of who you are and who's in our learning community, and how I can better focus some of the weeks to be more applicable to the needs of our learners. The summary forum is one that I'm going to hit on just real quick for folks to take a peek of what that looks like. As I mentioned earlier, in addition to looking at the directions, the next thing you'll want to do is take a peek at the rubric so you know how the forums are being evaluated. Each week you're going to be asked to look at 2 to 3. Well, not every week. Most weeks we'll be doing a summary forum. You'll look at 2 to 3 really key ideas. So when you look through all of the readings and resources, it's a way to use those to support the thoughts that you have around what you felt was most meaningful. And this week we're really looking at that big picture of the purpose of higher ed. I list 4 questions. You don't need to answer all of them. There may be 1 or 2 that really resonate with you. So they're there just to start thinking about the complexities of that simple question of the purpose of higher ed. And then you're going to be asked to respond to 2 of your colleagues' responses. And really, we're looking at not hey, good job, or I like what you said, but really extending and refining what that discussion is. So this is that professional graduate seminar discussion on, and so push each other and respectfully, encourage each other. And again, you are networking at this point with each other. So this is a great opportunity to really be aware of that. Notice this week that the major assignment, professional organizations, and your mission vision statement are pulled together. So you'll be looking at developing your mission vision statement, and you'll be investigating the social organizations, and you'll be putting those in together. So as you do so, again, start by looking over the instructions and then go directly to the rubric so you know how you're being assessed. That you'll start by focusing on, what is your own mission and vision statement. I would encourage you to do that, even though in how you submit the work is not in this order. But if you're unfamiliar with the mission and vision statement, by writing your own first will be helpful, because you're going to be asked to discern what's the mission and vision statement for the professional organizations you choose to look into. What are their goals and objectives? Who do they serve? And this is where I was saying, it may be a great way to jump on the student rate if you haven't, if it's a professional organization you're interested. Many of you may already belong to professional organizations. Those are fine to use. It's really a chance to figure out who's out there, what's out there. And I'm going to ask you to even share some out. So when we talk about the summary forum, or when we look at Q&As, if you have things you want to share with each other, we'll find a place to do that. And lastly is the reflection is, how does that professional organization really apply to your own personal and professional goals? So your own mission and vision statement. And then lastly, is there something that you can share with me privately that could help me support your success, both in this course, but also as the coordinator of the program, in the program, and as your advisor. So first week, I wish you all the best. Don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions.